Hi, I'm Grant Misens and welcome back to part 3 of the University of Illinois Wheelchair Basketball Series. I will be your coach through the chapters on team defense and the drills at the end of this DVD. Christina Ripp will coach you through the chapters on offense, and Coach Frogley will coach you through the chapters on transition. And remember, this DVD has been constructed with a developmental sequence in mind. Instruction begins at the introductory level and progresses to a more advanced level. You will find that it is best to watch each instructional unit in the order we have presented them. After you have become familiar with the fundamentals, use the chapter search to review a particular skill. The drills that support each skill are at the end of this DVD. The strength of any great team begins with defense. There are 3 things you need to play great defense: hard work, intelligence, and teamwork. We are going to show you how to play team defense, beginning with the triple switch. We call this the triple switch because there are 3 players involved. The keys to the triple switch are seeing the court, anticipating, and talking. First, let's look at what the person who is on the point does. With the ball on the point on offense, the defender is contesting the ball. She has good wheel position, she contests the ball with her hand, and she is calling ball. When the ball is passed, she sags to what we call the help position, so that she is ready to switch if needed. The help position prepares the defender for the switch and takes away a picking angle. From this position, below the free throw line, but not too deep so that she can jump again, she can see the ball side while still seeing her matchup by using her peripheral vision. She should be facing in between the 2 defenders so she can move in either direction. She is telling her teammates that she is the help defender and that she is sagging. As the shooter behind the screen goes baseline when jumped, the defender sees and hears that her teammate is picked out and she begins to rotate over. As she picks up the picker, she establishes wheel position and calls out the name of the new matchup. She also tells her teammate that was picked out to go to the middle and get the new matchup. Now let's look at the person who jumped the shooter behind the screen. This is the person who initiates the switch. Before the ball is passed, she recognizes that she will have to jump the shooter and lets her teammates know that she'll be jumping if the ball gets passed there. This is the anticipation part. As the ball is being passed, the jumping defender begins to jump on the shooter so that she arrives as the ball arrives. She starts her jump as the passer's shoulder moves forward, and she tries to establish one-on-one defensive position if she can. As she jumps, she tells her teammates that she is jumping and that she needs help and to switch. As the shooter begins to drive baseline, the jumping defender turns her wheelchair and begins to recover. It is important that the jumping defender not recover immediately if the shooter does not go baseline. The jumping defender recovers to the middle to complete the switch. Lastly, let's look at the defender that was low during the switch. When the jumping defender tells the low defender that she'll be jumping, the low defender positions his wheelchair so that he can make the switch. The low defender is facing in the direction that the shooter will be forced to drive when the jump occurs. The low defender should make sure that the offensive player setting the screen cannot get his footplate inside the push rim so that the low defender is held and cannot make the switch. As the shooter drives baseline, the low defender stays in position on the screener, until the help defender can switch and take his position. He can stay in this position as long as the shooter has not turned to become a threat. The slower the shooter is in becoming a threat, the more time the defense will have to make the switch. The switch is completed when the low defender takes the shooter as his matchup when he comes out from behind the screen. The keys to the triple switch are seeing the court, anticipating, and talking. The key to great team defense will be how well you can take your individual and small group defensive skills and put them together. We use 5 principles to guide our team defensive decisions. Deny baseline, always guard the greatest threats, help from the least threat, sag to the help position, if you're lost on D, go to the key. First, we always deny baseline. Watch as the low defender uses one-on-one defensive skills to deny the baseline. Letting the offensive player go through on the baseline can give up good position to the offensive player under the basket or to a player setting a seal. Second, guard the greatest threats. A threat to score might be a low post player, a great shooter from outside, or a player who is cutting to the basket. The defense stays on those players as long as they feel they are a threat to score. It is important to note that the scoring threats will change as the ball and players move on the court. Third, we always help from the least threat. Offensive players who don't have the ball and are farther from the basket are less of a threat, and so we sag off them, taking away picking angles and positioning ourselves to help. There may be more than one player who is not a threat to score. You can sag off both of them. Sometimes the person with the ball is not in a position to score, so we can sag off him too. Fourth, the defender guarding the least threat sags to the help position. The help position is in the help lane. The key extended, full court, even with the line of the ball and no lower than the middle of the key. Fifth, if you get lost on D, go to the key. From the key, you can look out and see where to go, and you are usually in a position where the offense is trying to attack. A key to remember is that these 5 principles apply to your man-to-man defense, both in the half court and in the full court. Deny baseline, always guard the greatest threats, help from the least threat, sag to the help position. If you're lost on D, go to the key.
Okay, now we've seen team defense. Let's take a look at team offense. The keys to a great team offense are execution, communication, and patience. We use a cross pick and post for the ball when the defense extends to pressure the ball on the point. First, we need to decide who is the picker, who is being picked for, and who is the post. For the cross pick, we want to set the pick on the defender who is farthest from the baseline. Also, to make it easier to set the pick should come from behind the extended defender so she cannot see it coming and adjust. The post will be the other offensive player. First, let's look at the picker. The picker communicates with the person being picked for to stay where he is, that he is setting the pick, and he calls for a post for the ball. He V-cuts to keep the defense playing honest. He uses a banana cut and sets the pick 6 inches from the corner of the defender's wheel closest to the basket. He finishes his pick and rolls to the basket. He V-cuts to keep the defense playing honest. He uses a banana cut and sets the pick 6 inches from the corner of the defender's wheel closest to the basket. He finishes his pick and rolls to the basket. Now let's look at the person we are picking for. The person being picked for has the ball and keeps the defense facing away from the picker.
Josh, post. I got your post. I got your post. Got your pick, Danny. You got your pick.
When the picker is 1 chair length away from setting the pick, the person picked for posts the ball away. The person picked for then cuts off the back of his teammate, less than a chair width away, so the defense cannot follow. The person picked for then creates space so the defense can't guard both offensive players. When the picker is 1 chair length away from setting the pick, the person picked for posts the ball away. The person picked for then cuts off the back of his teammate, less than a chair width away, so the defense cannot follow. The person picked for then creates space so the defense can't guard both offensive players. Lastly, let's look at the post. As the picker begins to move, the post pushes towards the defender and establishes wheel position. Once the post has wheel position, he pushes towards the ball, controlling the passing lane. As he receives the ball, he turns his chair so that he is facing the key and ready to pass the ball, protecting the ball with his body. Now let's look at the whole cross pick and post together. There are 2 basic reads you can make on offense: reads with the ball and reads without the ball. First, let's look at reads with the ball. The reads are look inside, 50% shot, and ball reversal. The first read is look inside. As the offensive player catches the ball, she is going to be ready to pass the ball to a teammate in the key or about to get in the key. We use a pass fake towards the key to reinforce this read with the players. The second read is 50% shot. When the offensive player catches the ball, if there is no read inside, she goes to the next read. This means if she's in an open spot where she can make the shot 50% of the time, she takes it. The The last read with the ball is ball reversal. If there is nobody open inside and the offensive player does not have a 50% shot, she should look to reverse the ball. Reversing the ball means that you pass the ball so it crosses the midline of the court. There are 4 reads that you make without the ball: 1-on-1, 2-on-2, offside, and help. First, you make a 1-on-1 read. Each offensive player decides whether there is a mismatch on the court, which can lead to an easy basket. This could mean a big player on a short player, a quick player on a slower player, or attacking defender who is out of position. Second, if there is no 1-on-1 mismatch, you make a 2-on-2 read. Each player then decides who they are going to attack with on offense and how. Communication, again, is key. Third, if there is no mismatch and the 2-on-2 attack has started, you look offside. If there is no attack offside, they can continue. The players need to look offside to make sure that when they attack, they don't go into the area their teammates are going, taking a scoring opportunity away. Fourth, the last read, is the help read. There has been no mismatch and the 2-on-2 attack has started. Your teammates offside are not attacking, so you can complete your attack. This time, the defense brings a help defender. The offense sees where the defense helps from and passes the ball to the teammate that is open.
Grant and Christina have taken us through our half-court offense and defense. Now let's take a look at our full-court transitions. An important component of playing great team defense is getting back into the proper position after an offensive possession. The keys to defensive transition are hustle, talking, position, and vision. We're going to refer to our defensive transition as the Teacup. Each of the 5 players transitioning from offense to defense has a specific role and place to fill. Let's look at the first person back on defense. First person pushes back as fast as she can. There's no time on the court when she's able to push faster than when in defensive transition. She's checking around her to see what's happening and telling her teammates where to go. She pushes back in the help lane, making sure that at least one of her wheels goes through the jump circle, and she ends up in the 0 position at the top of the 3-point line. Now let's look at the second person. The second person pushes back as fast as she can, looking all around and talking to her teammates and going back in the help lane. This person looks to see which side the ball is on and goes next to the first person back, but on the ball side, so she's ready to defend the ball. Next, the third person pushes hard, looks to see the court, talks, and pushes back in the help lane. This person goes to offside the ball, next to the first person back. This gives us defensive balance and the ability to defend cutters offside of the ball. The fourth person repeats the same basic skills of pushing hard, seeing the court, talking, and going through the help lane. This person goes to the ball side, going in between the first and second players back. They tell the second person back to slide forward to let them in. By sliding, the two defenders are able to keep their momentum to play defense and are not blocked. The fifth person back continues to transition fundamentally, pushing hard, talking, seeing the court, and going through the help lane. The last person goes offside the ball and slides in between the first and third players back. Now we have all 5 people back. You can see the teacup shape of the defense. All the defenders are facing out and ready to force the offense wide. There's no space in between the defenders to allow penetration by the offense. As the offense pushes down to attack, the defense starts pushing to force the offense wide. The defender on each side picks up the first offensive player on that side. The second defender picks up the second offensive player on that side, and the middle defender has the middle offensive player. Some key points. The defense has to start pushing before the offense gets to them in order to have enough speed to force the offense wide. The defense should match up wherever the offense goes. And remember, the defense must push hard, see the court, anticipate the offensive movement, and talk. We've just gone over how to get all 5 of your teammates back so that you can play half-court defense. However, you don't always get all 5 players back, and for that reason, you need to learn how to transition back on defense when you are short numbers. The keys are guard the greatest threat, use Teacup principles, and play point of convergence. If there's only one person back to play defense, they first come back to the top of the three-point line as if they were filling in the teacup. They turn their chair to the 0 position in the direction of the ball. Next, decide who is the greatest threat and stop that player. After they have made that decision, they're going to begin to fake back and forth at the offense as they collapse towards the basket. They fake for several reasons. First, this buys them time to let their teammates get back if they can. Second, it helps to hide which player the defense is going to let shoot. Third, it gets the offense deeper and closer to each other, and the point we call the point of convergence. This is the place where the 2 offensive players would meet on the court if they kept pushing straight. Next, let's look at defense when you have 2 back. Again, the keys are to guard the greatest threats, use Teacup principles, and play point of convergence. If there are only 2 back, they'll come back with the first person going to the middle and the second person going to the ball side. Then they decide who the greatest threats are. One player goes to one of the threats, and the other player is going to guard the least threat and the other threat and play point of convergence on those 2. This communication reduces the need to switch. The 2 players then begin to fake and get the offense to the point of convergence. Let's look at defense when you have 3 back. This happens mostly when there are 2 back picks. Again, the keys are guard the greatest threats, use Teacup principles, and play point of convergence. If there are only 3 back, they'll come back with the first person going middle, the second person going ball side, and the third person going offside. They decide who are the greatest threats. Usually, 2 defenders will match up on the offensive players that go low, and the middle defender will play point of convergence on the high offensive players. We do this because we can force an outside shot instead of a layup, and the other defensive players can get to the high offensive players more easily when they recover. The 3 players then begin to fake and get the offense to the point of convergence. Lastly, let's look at defense when you have 4 back. This happens mostly when there's 1 back pick. Again, the keys are guard the greatest threats, use Teacup principles, and play point of convergence. If there are only 4 back, they'll come back with the first person going middle, the second person going ball side, the third going offside, and the fourth sliding in ball side behind the second person back. They decide who are the greatest threats. Low defenders match up low. One of the high defenders matches up, and the other high defender will play point of convergence on the threat and the non-threat. The 4 players then begin to fake and get the offense to the point of convergence. Every team wants to get easy baskets, and the best way to do this is by creating high percentage scoring opportunities through offensive transition. Some key points to keep in mind: push hard, be a threat, have proper spacing, and be fundamental. Of course, the best type of transition is 1 on nobody, but we're going to start with 2 on 1. Keep in mind pushing hard, being a threat, spacing, and fundamentals. When the ball is rebounded, each player pushes wide, checking her shoulders as she goes. They tell each other where they are going, and they see the court so they can tell each other what they're supposed to do next. They push wide so that they can get good passing angles and picking angles. As they touch the sidelines, they cross in front of each other. If the ball is trailing an offensive teammate, you pass the ball ahead to get the ball up court as fast as you can. As the offensive players reach the 3-point line, they make sure they are each a threat to score. They have 10 to 15 foot spacing so that one defender cannot guard both of them, and they are under control so they can execute the fundamentals. Next, let's look at 3-on-2 transition. Remember the key points. Push hard, be a threat, proper spacing, and be fundamental. When the ball is rebounded, each player pushes wide, checking her shoulders as she goes. They tell each other where they are going, and they see the court so they know what to do next. They're pushing wide so they can get good passing and picking angles. As the offensive players touch the sidelines, they turn and cross each other. Again, if the ball is trailing the play, they pass the ball to the teammate who is ahead of the play. As the offensive players reach the three-point line, they make sure each is a threat to score. They create 10 to 15-foot spacing by having the players fill the right, left, and middle lanes and creating a triangle. The offense reads the defense to see where they are going and passes to the teammate left unguarded. Now let's look at 4-on-3 transition. Again, remember the key points. Push hard, be a threat, proper spacing, and be fundamental. With the 4-on-3, we're going to add a back pick. A back pick is any pick set on a defensive player in transition that keeps that defensive player out and gives the offense an advantage. Offensive players move up the court the same way they did in 3-on-2 transition, pushing wide, crossing, checking their shoulders, and passing the ball ahead. As the fourth offensive player begins to cross, she sees that a defensive player is trailing and she sets a back pick on that player. The back pick is set on the offensive player using the same key points as we used when playing 1-on-1 defense. The offense should be yelling that they have one out so their teammates create the appropriate spacing, 10 to 15 feet. The 3 offensive players up court fill lanes with 2 of them going to the low blocks on either side, the third one going to just outside the elbow, offside of the back pick. They are all a threat and have 10 to 15 foot spacing. The third offensive player goes offside of the back pick so that there's a wide open lane for the back picker to fill when she releases the pick. Once everybody's ready, the back picker is told to release. As the back picker gets to the three-point line, she makes sure she's under control. The offensive players read the defensive rotation and pass where the defense moves from. Again, spacing is key so that one defender cannot guard 2 offensive players and take away the advantage. Lastly, let's look at 5-on-4 transition. Keep the key points in mind: pushing hard, being a threat, spacing, and fundamentals. The offense begins by pushing wide, crossing, checking their shoulders, and passing the ball ahead. Again, an offensive player sees a trailing defensive player and sets a back pick, telling her teammates she has one out. The 4 offensive players fill the 2 low block lanes and the high spots away from the back pick so they are threats and must be guarded by the defense. When everybody is ready, the back picker is told to release the pick. As If the back picker becomes a threat, the offense reads the defensive rotation and passes the ball to where the defense comes from.
Thanks, Coach Frogley. Now let's wrap up with some drills using the skills I've learnt throughout this DVD. Three-on-three jump and recover teaches players how to see the court, anticipate, talk, move to defend the ball and recover. The offensive players start out at the three-point line with the ball. The boundaries are the sideline to the far side of the key. Initially, the offense is not allowed to pick. Later, as the defense improves, picking will be introduced. The offense is not allowed to shoot at first. The defense matches up and defends as they would in a game. As the ball is passed, the defender jumps out on a curve to defend the ball from zero position. When the ball is passed away, the defender sags, checking her shoulders and becoming flat so there is no picking angle. Three-on-three touch the spot teaches the defense how to defend offside of the ball. The offensive players start out at the three-point line and a ball is placed in the key. The boundaries are the sideline to the far side of the key. The offense tries to get to the ball to touch it. They are not allowed to stay in the key for longer than allowed in a game. Once they touch the ball, they must go out to the three-point line and start again. The defense works together to deny cuts and picks. They try and force the offense as wide as they can. Again, the keys are to see the court, anticipate offensive movement, and talk. Also, the defense should always deny baseline and force the offense to where the defense has help from a teammate. Three-on-three shadow with a ball is a great defensive drill to teach full court, man-to-man defense that incorporates all aspects of team defense. The keys are seeing the court, anticipating, and talking. In addition, the defense can now work on sagging to be flat and take away picking angles. Match up two groups of players with three in each group. Overall, the two groups should be of equal ability and speed. The boundaries are the sideline to the far edge of the key, extended full court. Three-on-three with a post can be used as both an offensive drill and defensive drill. The offense always starts at the three-point line. The boundaries are the sideline to the far side of the key. The offense tries to score, and the defense works to stop the offense. If you want to work on the triple switch on defense, don't allow the point on offense to roll to the basket, but let them be a stationary spot-up shooter. If you want to work on offense, let the defense play in any way that they want. Having the defense extend allows the offense to work on picking. Having the defense sag and play flat allows the offense to work on seals and screenplay. Caterpillar passing is a good drill to start with to develop your team's passing skills. Begin with your team divided evenly, with two lines facing each other on opposite sides of the key. With two basketballs in the same person's hands on the baseline, begin passing, using the type of pass you want to work on: chest pass, bounce pass, baseball pass, or hook pass. Once the player has caught and passed both balls, they pull back, spin away from the line, sprint, and push to the other end. This continues until the lines get to the other end of the court. You can make this more difficult by adding more basketballs and by increasing the speed. Split vision passing is a great drill to work on fundamental passing skills and using your peripheral vision. Place one player with a ball facing his teammates and place his teammates in an arc around him, one of them with the ball. When the player in the center passes the ball to one teammate, the teammate in the arc passes the second ball back. The player in the center keeps passing to different players back and forth as he receives each ball. The passes should be fundamental, and the player in the center should focus on watching the ball coming to him and using his peripheral vision to see the person he is passing to. Star passing is a great drill to teach passing skills and to teach overall court awareness. Have an odd number of players make a circle, one of them with a basketball. Begin passing the ball 2 people to the left. You can make this drill more difficult by adding more basketballs and by having the players change the direction of the passing to the right and back again. Let the players decide which passes will be high and which will be low to make the drill work. Four corner passing basic is a great drill to work on your team's passing. The keys are talking and fundamental passing technique. Set up your players on the 4 corners of the key with a ball in the opposite corners. Begin to pass in a clockwise fashion. Passing, pushing to receive the ball back, and handing the ball off. You go in front of your teammate because it keeps your body between the ball and the defender as you would in a game. Make sure you call out the name of the person you're passing to and pass to the target the teammate gives. You can make this drill more difficult by adding more basketballs to the drill and by yelling change to change directions in the middle of the drill. To do this drill with 2 balls, you need at least 6 players. Four corner passing modified has all the drill work of four corner passing basic, but it adds decision making. As with four corner passing, the players start in the 4 corners of the key, but the basketballs both start in the same corner. The players will pass the ball across on the diagonal or pass to a corner. The rule is if you get the ball from a corner, you pass across the diagonal, and if you get the ball from the diagonal, you pass to a corner. It does not matter which corner you pass to, as long as both basketballs go to the same person at that corner. Each person stays to receive both basketballs. Once you have passed the ball, you go to the corner you passed to. You can make this drill more difficult by adding basketballs and by telling the players they cannot go to the line they passed to. All of the team skills you have been learning should flow together. Remember, basketball is a creative and fluid game. Use your imagination. Let the team skills come together in different ways all over the court. We hope that you benefit from this instruction. The goal of the University of Illinois has always been to maximise the potential in all individuals. We hope by sharing our knowledge of the game of wheelchair basketball that you can maximise your potential and achieve your goals. And remember, when you register your product online, you will receive exclusive access to the University of Illinois coaching staff. This access will allow you to ask questions of the coaching staff, receive updates to the curriculum, and be notified when new products become available.